Real quick, if you're looking for a different kind of film study, check out my movie channel. The link is in the description, so you can just click on it right there. I have a Dune 2 review on there. I have a Christopher Nolan tier list, a Quentin Tarantino tier list, a lot of other fun stuff. Check it out if you want. And anyway, let's get back to your regularly scheduled video. Well, all right, let's talk about Joe Mixon, the newest member of the Houston Texans. It initially was announced that the Bengals were going to just cut Joe Mixon, and then the Texans kind of said, "Well, hey, if you're gonna just get rid of him, we'll take him. He's still a good player. Like 1 year, $8 million. Like, yeah, that seems like a good flyer to have. I like Mixon. I think he's a good player, and I'm a little surprised that the Bengals decided to make this move. Maybe they got to make. I get it. Can't pay everybody. Got to move the money around as you are starting to pay your star players all of a sudden. But still, let's start off with this play. So this is a fun play by Cincinnati, as it's going to be a unique blocking concept. So first, the center and the tackle are going to move up to the next level to block the two players, the two linebackers there for Cleveland. The left guard moves around and he's going to block the edge rusher. He'll be a little bit late, but that's okay. The goal is just to get the edge rusher towards the top of the screen. Same effect with the right tackle, moving all the way over to block the interior defensive lineman. It'll be late, but as long as you get him towards the top of the screen, that's all that matters. It'll still give a lane for Mixon. Then, obviously, the right guard just blocks the guy in front of him. Hopefully, there will be a way for Mixon to get through kind of untouched at the beginning of this play. And as you see, that's what happens. Mixon is able to sort of get right up to that next level. Well done by Cincinnati. This is one of those things where you look at it and you say, well, yeah, a big part of the running game is the offensive line. They never, they don't get as much credit for it as the running back tends to get among fans, although, GMs certainly give the offensive linemen the credit with how much money they make compared to running backs. But I think you could look at this and say, well, okay, what did Mixon really do here? I mean, sure, he's doing his job, he's doing his part, but how many running backs could also get to this spot? And that's fair. That's fair. But here's what I like about Mixon, is you look down the field, and you're not getting a lot more yards. And spoiler alert, this isn't one of those plays where Mixon somehow finds a way out of it and goes for a touchdown. No, that's not what I'm showing here. I just like how he takes the yards that he can get. Watch him just power forward, lower his shoulder, and still get to the 10-yard line. Like, yeah, I think your average running back is getting, some yards on that one. I don't think your average running back is getting as many yards as Joe Mixon gets on that one. I just don't. I don't think Dameon Pierce last year gets as many yards. I think Mixon did a good job at accelerating quickly through the hole, because that's another aspect of it, but also being able to know when it's time to just lower the shoulder and take the yards that you can get. Also, going over here, again, talking about running back value, let's talk about this play because it's interesting. So those two Cleveland players, watch what they're going to do. Right off the bat, you're going to see that right here, they move in. They're moving closer towards the middle of the field. Joe Mixon notices this. So what's he going to do? Well, watch him bounce things to the outside, and it's not a bad idea. I get why he's doing it. Try to get a touchdown here. Why just try to get a few yards, and it's probably going to get you more yards than just running up the middle. So, like I said, he knows when to just lower his shoulder and take the yards that he can get, but he also knows when to look for more yards. Of course, looking at it right now, you can see there's a couple of Cleveland players trying to make a tackle. So, how many yards is he going to get here? Is he going to be able to get the first down? Well, as you see, he stiff arms one guy, gets around another guy, doesn't get credit for a touchdown, is just short, but still a incredible run. And these are the kind of plays that he is capable of making. And again, talk about running back value. There's definitive value in that. Instead of a 3rd down and 6, that would have been, it's now a 1st down and goal at the 1. Like, that's a pretty big jump right there. And while running backs maybe on the average play might not have as much impact as like you might think by looking at their total yards, on very specific plays, they can really help swing a game in your favor. Like this one's another one from that same game. So this is a 1st down and goal situation after they scored a touchdown the last time. You're now here. You see it's a passing play, which he can be an impact player in the passing game, and you have a linebacker on him. Okay, these are routes that can work. I kind of like these types of routes usually. Watch as Browning is going to take the snap, and he's getting ready to flip it to Mixon, and you see right here, again, we see the setup, right? Mixon is open, but there's a linebacker running over to try and make a tackle. What's going to happen? Well, as you see, Mixon makes the grab, he makes a move, and gets into the end zone, gets the touchdown on that one. Really good job by Mixon, and these are, again, there's just definitive value in that. If you can make a guy miss, that's one of the best traits you can have in a running back, I think, is the ability to make a guy miss. There's so much value in that, and that's something that Mixon can bring to the table. And also just some subtle things, something like this, where what's going to happen is, so first I'll show the blocking concept. That's what you see on the screen. That's what's happening here. It also is probably worth noting the Cleveland player who's standing kind of right on the 40-yard line. He's kind of the closest unblocked player right here. So just put a pin in that. When this play begins, Mixon gets the ball, he looks over and sees the closest unblocked player, but also kind of, sees where that closest unblocked player is running. Mixon was kind of running a bit towards the outside, and so the defensive back is also running in that direction. And another really important aspect of a running back that just never gets talked about, but should because it's so important, is vision. How well do you see the field? Well, you see that he makes a move and is able to get around the defensive back before he even realized what happened. To his credit, the defensive back's getting back in position, and there's another player who can try to run over and make a tackle. But here's the other aspect of Mixon, is he is very good in open space. Watch him kind of run by both of them, and now he's in a very good situation. Gets here, and again, if you're wondering, is this going to be one of those, oh my god, he makes another move and gets a touchdown? Well, no, but it still is impressive from here. Watch just how much effort it takes to actually get Mixon down before he finally does, in fact, go down. It took an army to finally get him to the ground on that one, it felt like. Again, these are huge plays because, what would have happened if you had the average running back? I honestly think the average running back might only get a few yards on this play, and instead he turns it into a massive, explosive play. So, well, yes, a lot of times the offensive line is the key factor in a running back. Every single run they have, it's not every run they have. There are times when the running back is the key player, like this one, and when they are, Mixon can be someone who can take advantage. We can talk about the other aspect, the play action aspect, this situation where, we know how this works, right? Certainly Houston likes to do this a decent amount, is, run the ball a decent amount, and then you run play actions off of it, where it's zone coverage that the Colts are in. Watch when this play begins, they do run the play action, and those two Colts players kind of step in a little bit. And that's the whole point of the play action, right? It can have other benefits, like, the offensive line sometimes makes it a little easier to block, stuff like that. But the main benefit is you get the linebackers out of position and can hopefully throw over the top of them. On this one, that's what's going to happen. Again, there's a lot of debate as to how much the running back actually has an impact on how well play actions work. Logically, you think their impact would be pretty great on this type of stuff of, oh yeah, it's the threat of them. I think there's some, there's been some data to suggest it's actually not really as big of a deal, but I think it still matters, and I do think it's still something that, could add some benefits, although I would also say that, I'm going to be honest, my guess is Houston isn't exactly making the Joe Mixon signing to try and make C.J. Stroud's job easier. It might make C.J. Stroud's job a little easier, and that's a benefit. But the main thing, I think they're more thinking, instead of let's use Joe Mixon to hopefully create easy scenarios for C.J. Stroud, and more so, let's use C.J. Stroud to hopefully create some easy scenarios for Joe Mixon. But hey, maybe we'll do it both ways. I don't know, because it'll help out both ways. Should be an interesting fit in Houston. So yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.